All right, and we are live. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Sweet Advice Podcast. So today we are going to talk about the 2018 FIFA World Cup. We're going to recap the groups, and we're going to talk about the teams that have already gone through, and the teams that are on the brink of going through, and the teams that unfortunately did not make it. So we have been watching. Well, I know I've been watching all of the games. I think there's only one game that I didn't watch, and it was only like half that I didn't watch because my wife didn't let me. I had to watch it on my phone.
That's crazy. That's commitment.
Yeah, I was telling you, I even woke up at 4 a.m. because we're mountain time. I woke up at 3:50 a.m. to watch the France game. That was on a Saturday. But
that's crazy because like no games have been played like at that time, right?
But that was the only game, I think.
Was it like in the far like eastern part of Russia? Because I know they have like 11 time zones, right?
Something like that. I don't even know, man. It was
because I mean most of the part of Russia that's like populated is the western part, like the one that's closer to Europe.
Right.
So I'm guessing if it was like you said at 5, it must have been like farther east, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But I think they were playing Australia. I think it was their first game.
Oh, okay.
And then that's when Pogba made the goal at the very end, and it hit the crossbar and it went in.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but I was like half asleep, during that game because it's so early. But yeah, I usually wake up at 4 a.m. to go to the gym, but it was on a Saturday. So my time clock was all off.
That's crazy.
But yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, look, it's only every 4 years. Everybody looks forward to the World Cup, and people always talk about it. But then when it comes down to it, people are always complaining like, "Oh, it's too early." It's like, who gives a shit?
That's when you separate the real fans.
Yeah, dude. Like I mean, I'm not like the biggest fan in the world, but if I have the time, if I'm not at work, if I'm not doing something, if I don't have to go to a wedding or a funeral or something. Which even then, I might have to take my phone.
Streaming it on your phone.
Stream it. I'm gonna watch. Because it's the World Cup. I love soccer. You love soccer. People that we know love soccer, and this is what we look forward to. This is 4 years in the making, and so right now we're going to let's go through Group A real quick.
All right.
So we had Uruguay, Russia, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt. What did you think about that group?
Man, you know what? The opening match, I thought Russia was because Russia won the opening match 5-0, right? Who did they beat? Was it Egypt or Saudi Arabia that first game?
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. So I remember I came over to do a podcast with you, and I told you, wow, Russia, right? 5-0. So they looked impressive. Then their second game, they looked impressive as well. They won 3-0. Uruguay had been kind of just like barely winning. So I figured that the game yesterday, because they played yesterday, I figured that it was going to be a close game.
Right.
But I think Uruguay, they won 3-0?
Yes.
Yeah, so it was like their first true stiff test for Russia. And I mean, obviously they've improved. They're decent, but not world-class level. So, yeah, Uruguay, as expected, was the team that I thought was going to win the group, and, well, they did.
But Uruguay started off, like, horrible, dude.
Oh, yes.
They started off, like, you could tell they weren't in sync. It almost had seemed like they had never played with each other before.
Right.
And it's like, what the hell's going on? Russia looked really good, but you got to remember, Saudi Arabia, which turned out to be better than we thought Saudi Arabia was the worst team, but actually Panama ended up being
the worst team.
They're such an embarrassment, dude. We'll talk about Panama in a minute. But Saudi Arabia won their last game against Egypt. Didn't matter, but they won. I mean, it's like, hey, Egypt had a decent squad, and they ended up losing to Saudi Arabia. Was it 2-1?
No, I think so. But I mean, what do you mean a decent squad? They had like one good player.
But I mean, in Africa, in the African nations, Egypt is not,
like overlooked.
No, I mean Morocco had a great team, which we'll talk about in a minute with Group B. But Egypt, I would pick them over Saudi Arabia in the group, and Saudi Arabia beat them. So it's like, what the heck? But I think Russia benefited from playing Saudi Arabia first, and then they played Egypt. And then when they played Uruguay, you saw
the difference.
The talent level. You saw the two forwards, Cavani and Suarez.
Did you see that goal?
Yeah.
What was that about? I don't know if you saw the part where the Russian player, he kind of moved both of the Uruguay players out of the way, because there was a line of players, right? Suarez is gonna do the free kick, and
it was the goalie's fault. Like I guess he was thinking he's gonna curl it over, so move, and then there was this huge gap on the left side of him.
On the left side, right.
And he just kicked it in.
So the Uruguay players were just gonna kind of jump up, right? That's what they were gonna do. So
right.
That's why the Russian player kind of just moved them out of the way.
Right.
Yeah. I was like, what the hell? That's kind of weird.
Miscommunication on the Russian.
And he still
part.
scored it. That was a really cool goal.
Right.
The only other goal that I've seen like that is, I think, Ronaldinho. I don't know. He
under.
Under. I was like, wow, that's like so cool, like,
because they're gonna jump.
Yeah, they're gonna jump. So you kind of like outsmart them, hit it through the bottom. So yeah, that was a crazy goal.
Yeah. So we have Group A. Uruguay and Russia are going through. Uruguay had 9 points? They won all of their games. Russia won 2 of their games, so that leaves Saudi Arabia and Egypt out. And it went pretty much as we expected it.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody expected Saudi Arabia or Egypt to go through. Uruguay was a little shaky, but they pulled it out. Russia looks decent. And so moving on to Group B, we have Spain, Portugal, Iran, and Morocco. That first game, we did the podcast. We were like, hey, we got to go watch this game.
Yeah, and then we went and watched it.
And we knew, and we talked about Ronaldo, how he was going to bring it. And he
brought it.
He brought it like you wouldn't believe. He carried that team. That first game, Spain and Portugal, 3-3, and Ronaldo kicks the free kick to tie it at the end of the game.
That was a crazy.
It was amazing. It was an amazing goal. I mean, the way he curled it right over the defenders, right when they needed him, he came through, and this is basically why we have the debate between Messi and Ronaldo. And I'm not gonna say it's still kind of early, but I'm gonna say that Ronaldo this World Cup, no matter what happens from here on out, because Portugal already went through, right? Messi and Argentina on the brink of not qualifying for the next round, which the game is going to start in an hour from now. So we have to get through this very quickly because we got to watch that game. Portugal, I don't think gets a lot of respect, and on Twitter, there's a guy, what's his name? I forgot his name right now, but he has a podcast. He's a soccer analyst, and we were going back and forth on Twitter about how Portugal doesn't get respect, or do they get respect? And I think they don't. I think Ronaldo gets respect.
Oh yeah, a lot.
But the Portuguese team, they don't, because you don't have a lot of superstars on that team like you do with Argentina, like you do with Spain, like you do with Brazil. So when you talk about Portugal, you're not talking about the team. You're talking about Ronaldo. That's it. He is the team. He's the face of the team.
He's kind of like the Cavaliers and LeBron.
Yeah, he's
James,
LeBron.
Right?
He's LeBron James or Michael Jordan
team.
of the Bulls.
Well, Michael Jordan had a couple of good players, but like LeBron James, he doesn't really. Well,
I mean, look, Portugal has decent players. They have fast players. They're skilled, but they're not
world class.
They're not world class as you see them on. They're not on the Barcelonas. They're not on the Real Madrids. They're not on Manchester United, Juventus, Bayern Munich. Maybe one or two of them are, but for the most part, they're just like your B+ players.
Yeah,
they're not
solid,
your elite level.
They're not elite.
Where they get endorsements and commercials and all the big money. So they're just solid. And then you have Ronaldo, who is the elite of the elite on that team, and he has to carry them, right? And he comes in against a Spain team that is stacked. I mean, stacked to the gills. Yeah. And what happens? Spain, I guess because of their coaching situation where they fired their coach the day before the tournament begins.
What did you think about that? The whole firing of the coach right before the World Cup?
Hold on, let me open my Zevia
so
up.
That's gonna be like a hardcore The thing that you got.
I'm not getting sponsored by Zevia,
So you should block that.
but yeah, they should sponsor me. If you want to sponsor me, I like your drinks.
Yeah, because the coach got fired like a day or two before the tournament because he accepted the job at Real Madrid.
So he told Spain, I'm going to coach Real Madrid.
Right.
Right? After the World Cup.
Right.
And so Spain, the Spanish commission was like, no, you're not, because your attention's going to be on
Spain,
on
the national
Real
team.
Madrid.
Oh.
While you're coaching Spain.
Yeah.
We don't need that. We want a Spanish coach that's going to stay the Spanish coach even after the World Cup. You have to build their players up for the next tournament. So they want somebody stable. They don't want somebody whose mind is on
somewhere else.
You know, in Real Madrid. And so how do I feel about that? I don't know.
Was it like a good move by the Spanish Federation to kick him out, or? Because I mean, did the guy accept a job like prior, like really, like close to the World Cup
during the qualification? I mean, not qualifications, but he accepted it. I think the week before
the World Cup.
Before the World Cup, and so the Spanish commission's like, well, if you're not going to be a part of the Spanish team,
like 100%,
100%, then we don't want you. We want somebody who's going to be committed and doesn't have their mind somewhere else, and you know, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. We need total commitment. I think it showed. I don't know if it was a good move or not, because a part of me says, yeah, we don't want that bastard here. Like he's not fully committed.
You know?
But another part of me is like, he built that team. He knows the players. He knows the schematics. The scheme.
Well, how long was he under the Spanish national team?
The what?
How long was he there as a coach? Because you said that he knew the schematics, the players. How long was he coaching the team?
At least a year, 2 years.
Oh, so
he was the coach, and he knew what he was going to do. He had the players to do it. They had a chance to make another run. They still do. Which I heard on the radio that they're still the favorite to win the World Cup. Yeah, which
now they might be.
They might be because they have an easy road to the championship.
And then you look at Brazil, you look at Argentina. They've kind of been underwhelmingly performing. So,
well,
I look at Germany. You thought they were gonna go in, tear the group up, and it didn't happen.
Well, that's the thing. Germany's still in it.
Yeah, they're still in it. They might not be tomorrow, but we'll find out.
But Spain, I'm not too convinced. I think it was because of the coaching situation. They looked like they had never played with each other before, especially that first game, and even the second game. And even yesterday when they played, they got scored on twice by Morocco.
Morocco, right?
It's like, and they were on the verge. They were on the verge of not winning the group.
Yeah.
Right. Portugal at one point was on top of the group because of the goal they scored.
Yeah.
And then, that brings us to another point. What do you think about the VAR, the VAR, the virtual...
The one where they stop the game, they go back...
Or video assistant referee, yeah.
I don't really know much about it. I kind of know that they'll stop the game if they feel that there was like a blown call or they missed like a penalty call or something.
Right.
So then they'll stop the game like while it's running, right? That's what they do, and then they go check out the play, and then if they miss the penalty, then they'll run it back and then give the team the penalty. Is that kind of how it works?
Yeah. So for the most part, I think it's been working. I think they've gotten some good calls back. They've called some calls back, like that they called penalty, but then they removed it because it wasn't a penalty, like with Neymar.
Right.
And that's good stuff. But yesterday, what they did to Portugal, I think was horrible. First of all, it took like 5 minutes. Like the whole point is like they stop it. You go check it real quick. The ref gets something, get called by the video assistant referee. Mm-hmm. Hey, I think you missed the call. Go back and look at it. Boom! Within 1 minute, you make the call. But they took like 5 minutes, dude. And it's like, wait a minute, because the guy jumped up.
Who's
the Portuguese defender?
Right.
He jumped up. It hit off of his head, and his arm, the momentum.
Yeah, it hit his arm.
It hit his arm, and then they were like, "Oh, it's a penalty." But it took them like 5-6 minutes to decide
after
the fact. Yeah, and it's like that's stupid because number one, that was really debatable whether it was a penalty or not because it wasn't intentional.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of people who hate on Ronaldo, so of course they're gonna say, "Oh no, it was a handball. It was a handball. It's intentional, whatever." But to take that long, that already tells you that something wasn't right. Right? It's like, should we do it? Should we not?
At that point, you should just let it go. Because, I mean, if you have to think about it that much,
if you have to think about it that much, let it go.
Just let it go.
The ref saw it. He didn't call it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's obviously not a clear call. So
yeah, but
just let it go.
For the most part, I think it's a good thing. You know, most professional sports in the world have some kind of video replay to go back and look. I think like basketball, I think they do it too much. Way too much, dude. Yeah. Way too much.
They've slowed down the game a lot.
I'm afraid that it's going to happen like that in soccer because it just ruins the game. It ruins the flow.
And that's what I was going to tell you, because soccer is like one of those sports where like the time never stops. You know, the time keeps running, whether there's a foul, whether whatever.
Right.
The time continuously keeps going. And I don't know, I feel like something like that might kind of like interfere with like the motions of the game, you know, like it's gonna slow it down, and then eventually, because it's just starting, so you don't know, like maybe down the road they're gonna be calling like a lot of these plays back, and it's just gonna slow down the game a lot. So I see it like as a good thing, but in a way I just wouldn't want to see it, like you said, turn into like something like basketball, which I'm sure it won't, because basketball there's a lot of contact.
Right.
I think soccer's a little more fluid. I don't know.
Well, I mean, whatever happens, I hope it doesn't affect like the final. Because something's going to happen, dude. That's the problem, is that this is the first time it's ever been used. They're still working out the kinks.
But then again, there's been times also when, like, the fact that you don't have, when VR wasn't available, that matches were decided because it wasn't available. So, like, take, for example, that Argentina championship with Maradona and the hand of God.
Right,
that was clearly a hand. So, you see, if you would have had VR then, you would have called that back, and Argentina might have not won the World Cup.
It goes both ways.
Yeah, so it goes both ways. So it has its pros, it has its cons. But I think it's mostly for the good.
Yeah.
Because I know baseball also didn't have it, right? And then they just recently like kind of put it into their,
like the home runs.
Yeah, the home runs. Like was it a foul ball or something? Yeah, so.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying because yesterday it cost Portugal the group because they were on top. Now they have to play Uruguay instead of playing Russia. And everybody knows these teams, they're way better than the Russians. It's an easier path to go through the Russians than to go through Uruguay. So now anything can happen, and Portugal is on.
They have a tough matchup.
They have a tough matchup. It's gonna be a great matchup though.
Yeah. When are they slated to play? When do the round of 16 start?
Shoot. You know what?
Because there's still a couple of groups to be decided.
Yeah. So they're gonna start
maybe the weekend.
You know what? Yeah.
Because you know what? I think Friday there's no games, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think it starts on
Saturday, right?
Yeah, Uruguay, Portugal at 12 p.m. Mountain Time.
Saturday.
Nice.
I'm gonna be at a party, unfortunately, that day.
And there's one at 8 a.m. too. So that's the second game. So I think it's gonna be C and D group 1C and 2D is at 8 a.m. and then Uruguay Portugal is.
So then we're looking at Uruguay versus Portugal, Russia versus Spain.
Right.
I kind of already see the outcomes of the game. Well, not the Uruguay Portugal.
That's a 50-50.
Yeah, I would say maybe even Uruguay has a little bit of the better team on that one.
I mean, I think they're playing together more.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're playing way better. They're more cohesive.
They looked good.
And Russia,
well,
they look good at their last game. The first two games, not so much.
Yeah, not so good.
But, Portugal has the great equalizer, which is Ronaldo, who has been just insane. I mean, the guy is playing.
He shows up in the clutch whenever you need him.
As he gets older, he's gotten... He's playing like he's back in Manchester United. I mean, it's insane. He's not as quick.
Yeah.
He's not as quick. He's not as agile, but he's just smarter.
And he developed. Knows. Yeah, and he's developed other skills as well, like the leadership and everything. Well, you saw him, when they won the Euro, he was out, but he was on the sidelines coaching and everything. So he fires up his teammates. He's one of those guys that like walks into the locker room or goes into the game, and you just want to be around him, because he wants to win. Yeah, he's a winner.
He has a killer instinct. which Messi doesn't have. And people, this is the argument that we've always had. It's Michael Jordan versus LeBron James. Who's the one that has the killer instinct? Who's the one you want with the ball when it comes down to it?
Clutch time.
Who's the most clutch person? And the answer is going to be Ronaldo. But that's the debate. 50 people are going to say no.
Messi.
50 people are going to say yes. And it's just been an age-old debate. But I think this World Cup, Ronaldo has proven that he can carry his team. He can score. He can make beautiful plays. He can, just step up when you need him. And where's Messi? I mean, we need to send a search and rescue party to go find his ass, because did you see his face at the end of the game?
Yeah, he looks so demoralized.
He's like
down.
He's
man.
like, man, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
The hell with this shit.
What's wrong with him?
He's just.
You know what? I kind of feel bad for him, because I know he's a good. You know what? Look, I think Ronaldo's a better player. I think he's proven it at the international level, at the club level. For me, Ronnie is number one, Messi's number two. But I don't hate on Messi. I mean, the guy. Oh, the guy is great.
His record speaks for himself.
Yeah, he's a winner too. But I don't know, man. Like when it comes to like the international team, it's just as if he just can't get it together. And I don't know if it's him or his teammates, but I don't know, man. Like it kind of makes me sad because everybody talks trash about him. Like everybody's like, "Oh, look at Messi. There he goes, choking up again."
They talk trash about Ronaldo too all the time.
No, I know, but
he's a transvestite, and he's this and that, and he puts makeup on, and he can't score penalties, and this.
Well, talking about not scoring penalties, he missed one yesterday.
He missed one, but look, he single-handedly got his group, his
team into the knockout stages.
So, what can you say? Okay, he missed a penalty, fine, but he's already scored 4 amazing goals.
Yeah.
I mean, what has Messi done? 0 goals. He can't lead his team. Nobody respects him anymore. Everybody's talking trash about him.
Well, that's why I feel bad for him, because, like, I don't know if it's a good thing that I feel bad for him or not, because, I mean, no, I don't think anybody likes to be pitied. But I know the guy's capable of a lot more, I've seen him at Barcelona. The guy is great, so I know he has it in him, and the fact that he can't just like bring it out on the international stage is bad, man. Like it makes me feel.
But does that
bad
say
for
something
him.
about him that he can't do it if he doesn't have world-class Barcelona talent around him?
Yeah. So that's the argument. Yeah. So that's the argument, and that's what I use when I argue with people that Messi's a better player. Because I think Ronaldo's a better player. He came. Because Messi joined Barcelona when he was like 16, 14, something like that, right? Like he was very young. Ronnie
through the program,
yeah,
right?
through the program. Ronaldo came up through like a Portuguese team, and then he got over to Man United, won Player of the Year, Champions League. He went
in the Premier League, which is the toughest. Maybe not skill wise, but physically
wise.
Yeah, it's the toughest league to play.
He won the Golden Boot up until last season. Salah broke his record for most goals in a season.
Right.
He went over to Real Madrid. He's won Champions. He's won Player of the Year. He's won the Euro with his team. So I mean, Ronaldo is set as an all-time great.
Right. Well, both of them are.
Yeah. Messi, there's always going to be that asterisk if he can't like do anything with his international team.
Right.
But I mean, he still has one more game. And as a soccer fan, because I know he's a quality player, I would want him to do good, and I would want him to go through the next round. And as a fellow Latino, I would want him to advance as well. So,
even though Argentinians don't hate
I don't like Argentina. I don't like Argentina. I really don't.
There's a big rivalry there.
I like Messi, but yeah, Argentina as a team, man. No, I'm never gonna root for them.
All right, well, we'll get to them in a minute.
Yeah.
All right, so Group C.
All right.
We have France, Denmark, Peru, and Australia. Okay. The thing is, I really had big hopes for Peru.
I did too.
I thought they had a decent team. I tell you, those guys can run forever. They put heart and soul into their play, and unfortunately they came up short, right? They came up not being able to beat a team like France, which I'm super disappointed with. I mean, especially after the game that I just watched today, France versus Denmark. It was a snooze fest. France, they're lacking that killer instinct because I think Pogba and Mbappe didn't even play. because all they needed was a draw to secure the group.
That pisses me off,
Yeah,
man.
and it's like, look, you have people coming from all over the world paying ridiculous prices for these World Cup games. I think it's like $500 or something like that for a France game.
Not only that, but
like
the flight, the hotel, the food.
Yeah, and then you go and you don't see your full team play, they're playing what I call hoe ball, where they just pass it back.
They don't want to attack.
Back. They don't want to attack.
Neither
they don't want to risk it.
Yeah, they don't want to risk it.
And Denmark is like, with the draw, we secure.
Yeah, we secure the win. That's some BS, man.
Going through to the next round.
Is some BS.
And it's like you're sitting there and like, this is supposed to be a World Cup, world class level game. Go at it. Try to, Denmark should try to win the group.
Yeah.
And they did it. They did it because they saw France.
That they weren't attacking too much. So it's kind of like they made like a mutual agreement, right? Like, hey, you know what? We'll kind of just take it easy. We won't hurt anybody. We won't attack. You won't attack, and we'll both go through. Right. We win the group, and you guys advance.
The video you showed me, Colombia and
that was
who was it?
It was Colombia and who was it?
Jesus. Colombia and
who else?
Peru?
It might have been Peru. Yeah.
Like, because they were like, if we tie, it's 1-1, and Chile won't go through. That's you showed me that video,
bullshit,
right?
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
Because if one of the teams lost, because it was Peru versus Colombia, so if one of the teams lost, they were gonna go out, and in their place it was gonna be Chile to take their World Cup spot.
Right.
But then they figured out, hey, if we both tie the game, we both go through.
Exactly.
So then they literally made an agreement between the players,
passing the ball back and forth very slowly.
Yeah.
No one's attacking.
That's
horrible.
Yeah.
Man. That's horrible.
And then they both were celebrating at the end because they had made the World Cup. So yeah, that was super crazy. But I think that's so. I mean, it's good for the teams that are doing it because they're doing it for a purpose. But I mean, for the other teams that are still trying to get into the knockout stages and everything, it must be so frustrating, just looking at these teams just kind of just mess around and not want to win the game.
Yeah, but it's so disappointing because France, they have all the talent in the world, man. They have world-class players. They're very young. They're fast. I mean, you have Dembele, Kante, Pogba, Mbappe, Griezmann, who I think is the best player in France right now, top 5 player in the world, and they can't get the ball to him. I mean, the dude's running around, give me the ball, and then I don't know what the hell they're doing. They just can't play together. And this has been true of France ever since, after '98 when they won the World Cup. They haven't been the same. I mean, they have a solid squad. They have great talent. They can't get it together. Just like Spain, just like Argentina, Brazil sometimes. All the talent is there, and they can't get it together.
Yeah, that's right. But I had heard that there was problems with the coach, because I know Benzema was left out,
right,
and a couple of other players didn't really want to play for this coach. So I don't know if it's the coach. Who is it? Deschamps? That's his
Deschamps,
Deschamps,
I think.
Yeah, Patrice Evra. So what's up with the coach, man? Why is it that these players didn't want to play for him? Is he an arrogant guy, or
they left Ribéry off?
Yeah, Ribéry. Yeah, that guy's a beast with Munich, right? So,
but I know Ribéry and some other French player were in trouble. I think it was Benzema. Ribéry and Benzema, they got caught. I think they were pimps.
No.
Yeah, dude, they were French pimps. They had a prostitution ring going on.
No.
Yeah, they had women that they would pimp out. And
that's crazy.
Yeah, so they got in big trouble, and I think ever since then, Ribéry was fighting it in court or whatever. And
was it true or not?
I think so.
Dude, why would they do that? These guys are making millions of dollars, and you can't
hard out here for a pimp, bro. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. But that's horrible, though.
Hey, you can't take the hood out of some people, man.
Yeah, pimping women out, that is not, a great choice. You go to jail.
That's so random,
prison,
though,
rot in prison, because these women don't deserve that. But
that's crazy.
But yeah, you're the face of a nation, and you're. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I read something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe I misread. I don't know.
You might be right, and then Ribery has that cutout over his eye,
Yeah,
like
he looks like Scarface,
this guy was like into like some heavy stuff.
He's a
in
crazy
his
dude.
Younger
He's
days, man.
and I want to say Benzema was a part of it.
Right.
But maybe it was some other French player. But yeah, France has had a lot of controversy, a lot of things going on.
They should have called up the French guy that plays in Mexico over at Tigres.
Who's that?
What's his name? They called him up a couple of times for friendlies. What's his name? He's really good in Mexico. He plays for Tigres, which is like.
Is he black?
No. He's a white French guy. What's his name, man? It's gonna bother me. But yeah, he's pretty good. He kills it over in Mexico.
Pull that shit up, Jamie.
Nah.
We don't have a Jamie.
Yeah, I'm gonna have
Still
to.
don't have a Jamie, guys. Anybody want to volunteer?
He used to play in France for Marseille. And I think he rejected like an extension and went over to Mexico. And the Mexican fans love him, man. Like, he just clicked.
Is he a good player?
He's really good. Like, over in the Mexican league, he's really good. And he kind of revived his career because after he went to Mexico, he started playing with a team. And he started having good performances.
Right.
And they called him up to the national team a couple of times. But I guess they didn't put him in the World Cup roster. Well, actually, I don't even know. Mm-hmm. But let me look him up really fast because it's going to bother me.
Well, regardless, so France and Denmark are going through. I don't care for either one. I don't think France is going to make it very far.
Andre Pierre Gignac, that's his name.
Who?
Gignac. Andre Pierre Gignac.
I don't follow Mexican soccer too much, so not really sure. But yeah, I guess they should have called him up.
I should have called him up.
Maybe would have.
He's kind of like a Benzema.
Okay, so he's a true striker, true forward.
Big, kind of stocky. 9? Yeah.
Okay. All right. So unfortunately, Peru and Australia not going through.
Peru, I mean, even though they're not going through, a lot of people were actually talking like good about them, because they played with a lot of grit, a lot of heart.
Right.
And they constantly attacked. So I guess they were pretty fun to watch from what I was reading. I didn't get to watch a game from them, but. It sucks that they're out, but oh well.
All right, so we're moving on to Group D. So we have Croatia, Nigeria, Iceland, and Argentina. And that's kind of weird to read because we're reading them in order, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And Argentina's at the bottom with 1 point. After 2 games, they only have 1 point. They have minus 3 goals against them. So they are going to play very soon against Nigeria, who is flying high. The Flying Eagles, what are they called? I
don't know.
The high flying Eagles are flying high. These guys are playing very collective. They have a great counter. They're super fast. Nigerian teams, African teams, for the most part, they always have that speed. Every World Cup, when you have like the Ivory Coast, Cameroon, Senegal, Nigeria, I mean, these guys are very athletic. They're big, they're strong, they're fast, and they can put up a fight. I mean, skill-wise, they don't have the skill compared to Argentina or Croatia, but they're there. They're winning. They're scoring goals, and it's a beautiful thing to watch. Croatia, on the other hand,
they're flying high.
Oh my God, Croatia!
They're just clicking.
They're scary right now. You have Luka Modric. Did I say that right? Modric, right? Luka Modric, who plays for Real Madrid with Ronaldo. I mean, this guy, if you look at him play, he just kind of glides through the midfield. I mean, it looks like you're playing a video game, and this guy is just gliding through the midfield with the ball on his feet and distributing balls with accuracy, with perfection, scoring goals, never gives up. I mean, this guy he's
an energizer bunny.
He's the Messi of the group.
He's a short guy,
right? Yeah,
right?
he's a small dude. He's got, this long flowing blonde hair, blue eyes, very dreamy.
All right, calm down, David. Calm down, man.
But man, that guy's a beast.
He's really good.
Fun to watch.
Yeah.
And he's basically taking over the group that Messi was supposed to take over.
Right.
And Croatia just killed Argentina. I mean, that was sad to watch.
Well, that was a game where Messi looked completely demoralized. Yeah. Like he was looking down, like it didn't seem like he wanted to be there. So
the coach took off. He didn't want to interview. He was all pissed off.
Really?
Yeah, the coach just left. but Croatia look awesome. Iceland, too bad for Iceland because I don't think they're going to beat Argentina. I'm sorry, Croatia.
They tied with Argentina.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to beat Croatia. And, unfortunately for them, they won over a lot of fans worldwide. They won me over. I like Iceland. When you have a country that small producing a team that's competing, you have to root for them. It makes you want to root for them. But, unfortunately, I don't think they're gonna be able to go through because they only have 1 point right now. They're up against Croatia. Well, who knows? Croatia might pull a France, not play their starters, and kind of just hold on for the draw because they already have it. I mean, they pretty much.
Well, but a draw doesn't benefit Iceland because they don't go through. So Iceland,
Yeah.
Technically, if you look at all of these groups, they all have a good, not a good chance, but they have a chance to go through. Croatia for sure is already through to the next round. So they already secured, they already secured the group because they have a goal difference of 5.
Yeah.
So, unless
Nigeria
beats
win 6-0.
by 6 goals
Yeah.
to Argentina.
That's what I'm saying is Croatia already has it wrapped up.
They took the first place.
Right.
But Nigeria has 3 points, so they're going to be playing Argentina for that second slot. Because if they win, they secure the second spot. If Argentina wins, they secure the second spot. But then Iceland, if they beat Croatia and Argentina beats Nigeria, they're kind of like stuck at 4. And then you go to the goal difference. So
Which Argentina is not. It's not.
Well, yeah, they're down
-3.
-3. These guys are
Nigeria.
-2.
-2.
So it's close, So it might come down to that.
That's exciting though.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I can't wait for Argentina and Nigeria. I think it's gonna be fireworks, man. It's gonna be lit, fam.
It's gonna be lit.
These kids these days, I don't know what
dog.
stuff they come up with. No, don't ever say that again.
Okay, says a guy saying it's lit, fam.
All right. So Group D is up in the air. We don't know what's going to happen. We have to wait. Group E. Now we're moving on to Group E. Brazil, Switzerland, Serbia, and Costa Rica. I think Costa Rica was a huge, huge disappointment, especially from what they did the last World Cup. Everybody was excited. They kind of kept the team together, right? It's the same core. Keylor Navas, who's the goalkeeper. He's a great goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Great goalkeeper. He showed it. But, man, Costa Rica just
out of their depth.
Unfortunately, they had to be in the group with Brazil. They weren't going to beat Brazil. Switzerland is doing it up. They're doing it up. And I think Switzerland has a good chance, man, because they're playing like Croatia's playing. I mean, they're unified. They have great goal scorers in Shaqiri and what's the other guy's name?
I don't know. I don't really know too many other players.
They're like Albanian refugees or something like that.
Really?
They have a crazy story. I need to look more into that. But these guys, man, they're playing with heart. They're playing with passion. Every time they're trying to score. They're not, they came here to prove a point, and then they're doing it.
It's as if a lot of these small teams, right? Like they came to like play.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the bigger powers, they've kind of been like a.
I mean, look, Iran and Morocco. They came to play.
They held their ground.
They held it, man.
Well, and not with Russia, but with Uruguay.
Yeah. So, I still think Brazil is, they tied with Switzerland, but Switzerland's a good team. I think they were ranked number 6 in the world coming into the World Cup. Switzerland, yeah, number 6 in the world.
I think you're confusing them for Poland. No, was it Switzerland?
Let's look it up. Because this is gonna bother me.
Look it up on your computer, man.
Okay, hold on. But anyway, Brazil. I think Brazil is still the team to beat. I mean, I think their speed is just incredible. Was it rankings? Let's see.
Yeah, you know what? Looking at the group though, this one's up for grabs because Brazil's gonna be playing Costa Rica, right?
Here we go. The FIFA Coca-Cola World Ranking: Switzerland current FIFA World Ranking number 6.
No, really?
Yes, dude.
Wow.
That's why when they played Brazil, I knew it was going to be a tough game for Brazil. Like, I thought Brazil was going to win.
Dude, I had no idea.
But
was
Switzerland, they
6.
have a solid team, dude. Solid. They have speed. They have a great defense. All, their players are tall, so the balls in the air, they're going to win them. Yeah, they're like a mini German team. You know, obviously we think Germany, they're better, but Switzerland is up there with the Germans because they have the size, they have the speed, they have the structure, and you know things are looking pretty good for them. So, you know, Brazil and Switzerland played the game and they tied, and then Brazil just ran all over. Who was it?
Serbia. Because they haven't played Costa Rica.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. It was Serbia, and no, was it?
Or did they already play Costa Rica?
Yeah, it was Costa Rica, dude.
Oh, okay.
You're confusing me here.
Yeah, sorry.
Because they scored 2 in overtime.
Oh, okay.
Remember, because it was 0-0. Neymar had the penalty removed from the VAR, from the video assistant referee, and it looked like, oh man, Brazil is just not clicking. They're not clicking. They're not doing it. You know, they tied with Switzerland. Now they're 0-0 with Costa Rica, and what happens? Brazil's subs make a difference. Brazil's speed makes a difference. They never give up. They're always on that killer instinct mode, dude. That's what lacks with France. That's what lacks with Germany. That's what lacks with all the other teams.
If I would have asked you this question about Germany like 2 weeks ago, you would have not had said that. Man.
Well, I'm saying,
like 2 weeks ago, you would have sworn that Germany had
right now. Yeah, I could have. Everybody.
That Germany was like the.
Well,
rightfully so, because everybody thought so, right? But
yeah, something happened.
But looking at the number, so then Brazil's gonna be playing Serbia for the chance to go to the knockouts. So technically, Brazil might not even make it to the knockout stages.
Well, technically, but
hey, you never know. Because look, Switzerland,
if Serbia beats Brazil, then
they're through. Yeah, and Brazil,
they're not gonna make it, dude.
And then. I mean, Switzerland would have to lose to Costa Rica too, and then maybe it'll go. So that one's an interesting group too.
Yeah, I would not bet money that Serbia beats Brazil, but it's a possibility.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
So, can you imagine if Argentina and Brazil both
and Germany
don't make the knockout stage? Oh, wow, I don't even know what to think anymore, man.
Yeah, because it might be Serbia and Switzerland going through. Yeah. That's so crazy, right?
Yeah.
That's a crazy combo
there. I don't know what's going to happen.
It can happen.
I still have faith that Brazil's going to easily beat Serbia. Maybe, 2-0, something like that. 3-0 maybe. Yeah, it's another interesting group. So both Group D and E, man, they're up for grabs. And then moving on to Group F, that is also up for grabs. So we have Mexico, Germany, Sweden, and South Korea. South Korea has already been eliminated. There's no possibility of them going through. But Sweden and Germany both have 3 points. 0 goal differential for both of them. And then at the top, you have Mexico +2 with 6 points. But that doesn't mean anything because they can still not advance.
I know.
Right? So, all right, before we move on to that, let's go ahead and I'm going to say I was wrong. I was dead wrong. Mexico, they proved a lot. They proved a lot in that first game against Germany. They played with what we call huevos, right? And that was the thing that we wanted to see Mexico is play with some balls, play with some intensity. And they brought it to Germany. I mean, they really did. They impressed everybody. And, but I will say this. I don't think...
Hold on. Let me stop you there.
Okay, because you already know what I'm going to say.
Here comes the trash talk, right? No, but the last time... I just want to hear you say it.
I was wrong.
No. You said you were wrong. But you also said... that because I told you, hey, you know what? I think it's going to go down as a draw. And you know what? I'm happy that I was wrong because obviously Mexico wins a lot better. But you said that if Mexico drew with Germany, then you were forced to say that Mexico can win the World Cup.
Yeah.
So Mexico beat Germany. So I just want to hear you say it.
All right.
So
all right. I think Mexico has a chance. I think Mexico has a chance to win the World Cup because of how they've been playing.
Yeah.
However,
all right.
having watched Belgium and England play, I don't think Mexico has a chance. I really don't. I truly do wish Mexico wins the World Cup. That would be awesome. That would be amazing. But having seen these other teams, especially like Belgium, England, and Croatia, I mean, do you honestly think that Mexico can really? I mean, I think they can give them a good game, but do you think they can beat a team like Belgium, which we're going to talk about in a minute?
I think they can because they've already done it. Well, I don't think they beat them, but they went over to Belgium, I think it was last year, and they drew 3-3 in their home.
Okay.
With their fans there. Man, they took it to them. And
Now,
and I've told you before, I think Mexico has a solid squad, man. They do. They have solid players. And even if you look at the bench, you also got to take this into consideration. The generation that Mexico has right now, they've been world champions. Maybe not at this stage, but they've won the under-17 world champion. They won the under-19 world champions, the World Cup for under-17, under-19.
Going right now.
They've won the Olympic gold medal.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about a group of...
Did they win the Gold Cup? Copa Oro?
They've won the Gold Cup multiple times. So we're not talking about a group of players that doesn't know how to play. Right. Clearly they know how to play. They've proven it at the smaller levels. It's just a matter of them bringing it together. And that was the main question that I had going into the World Cup. Yeah, collectively.
Like a real team.
Yeah, like a real team collectively. And
they're having fun. You see all the videos and the pictures. They're flying high right now.
They're
Mexico,
flying high, yeah.
And you could even tell, like, the other teams, they're talking about Mexico.
Yeah, like
they're
other
like,
countries.
Hey, man, Mexico's very dangerous. Like, their counterattack is amazing. I don't know how they do it, but every time they counter, they got three guys.
Yeah,
they got Chicharito, Vela, and
Lozano.
I mean, they're just running.
And
they have the ball. It's like, how the hell did they get there?
Like from boom.
Yeah, it's just like in a matter of a blink of an eye, and there they go. Here comes Mexico. Yeah. And a lot of times they've been messing up on the finish.
Yeah, that's where they need to.
That's where they need to fix it. But
fix it a little bit.
And Chicharito finally showed up. He was missing for a game and a half until he finally scored, and that was an easy goal too that he had there.
And that goal actually puts him at the top of the all-time scoring list for Mexico's national team. So it was a good moment for him.
Congratulations, little P.
Whatever. You know you were a fan of him when he was already United.
And Manu, he was doing great, dude. He was doing great, and then they got the new coach and.
But did you like him over at Manu?
Well, I'm a Manu fan. I had to like him.
Yeah, so
he's not the thing about Chicharito. What's his real name?
Javier Hernandez.
There you go. Because everybody calls him Chicharito. He's not a true forward. He's not a number 9, right? He's like this, little kid face, skinny, lanky dude.
He's a poacher.
He's a poacher, which means he just knows how to be at the right place at the right time. He knows how to get behind.
Yeah.
Right. He can confuse the defense. But he's not a true striker like Lukaku or
strong.
Yeah, like give me the ball and I'll body somebody up and just turn around and score. So I think when you're playing against a team like Germany where you got these massive defenders, you tend to kind of just fade away because they're muscly, physically imposing their will on you. And I think you kind of saw that. And what happens? Mexico plays South Korea. Smaller dudes, not as physical, and then he shows up. So I think they kind of have to figure out,
his role.
how his role, how to get with the bigger dudes, get in there and score more.
Yeah.
But I will have to say that Germany disappointed. I think everybody, even their own fans. I was at a German bar watching the Mexico-Germany game, and you could just tell like all the German fans were like, this is not Germany. This is not our team. Like, they haven't shown up yet. And then they played Sweden, and what happens? They basically were losing. I mean, it wasn't until the last second of the last play that they miraculously tied the game. Now, they were pressuring, like the last 10 minutes. I mean, they were bringing it on hard. Their players were trying to score. They were actually playing with pace and precision. But Sweden has a decent team. They have a good defense. They weren't letting the Germans. They just, unfortunately, in the last second, Germany did an amazing play that I'm sure they practiced 1,000 times on the field. And they ended up tying the game, which complicates a lot of things.
It complicated the whole
for
group.
the group, yeah.
And before we move on, talking about the VR, because I was watching the game.
VAR.
The VAR?
Yeah.
Okay, the VAR.
Video assistant referee.
Refereeing. Okay, so talking about the VAR, there was actually a play which pissed me off. There was a clear penalty for Sweden.
Yes.
And they didn't call it, or they didn't review it.
They didn't
call it. They didn't review it.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, damn, the FIFA must really love Germany. And then on top of that, they give
conspiracy.
I know, right?
Dun.
Ratings.
Beep, 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 beep.
And on top of that, they give them 5 minutes to like close off the game.
Right.
5 minutes.
Well, but see, that's the thing is that I've noticed is that because of the VAR in place. Have you noticed that they've been adding 6-7 minutes, sometimes?
But they didn't use it during that game.
I know. Yeah,
that was a clear penalty. They even ran it back. Even the announcers for the game were saying like, "Hey, you know what? That was a clear penalty."
Yeah.
But hey, I just
giving Germany every chance possible.
Every chance
because they're a big draw. They're like Mexico. A lot of fans, a lot of money, a lot of networks,
a lot of viewership. A lot of the American fans actually are pulling for Germany.
Yeah.
Which.
Well, you got to remember we have a military base in Germany, so a lot of soldiers who lived in Germany, who are not really into soccer, but when they were living in Germany, they kind of got into soccer, so that's the team they follow.
Right.
And so when I was at the German place, you could see there's a lot of like military dudes who all had German jerseys because that's the team that they only know associate with.
That's what
and they
got them hooked to soccer.
That's why Germany has a lot of fans or worldwide. So
right. Hey, and I wanted to ask you a question because I mean I like the USA national team too. I mean not as much as Mexico. They're my second team. But I wanted to ask you because there was this commercial and there was this like a lot of trash talk going on. With Landon Donovan, because he came out in a commercial where he had the Mexico jersey on or a Mexico shirt or something, and he was advocating for
Mexico,
American fans to root for Mexico.
Yeah.
And apparently there was like this backlash, right? That like, oh, like why would this guy do that? Like he's an American, he plays for the USA national team. Why is he like saying that we should root for our rivals? How do you feel about that? I
keep saying My wife tells me I do too many ums.
Does your wife look at the videos?
Yeah. So this is for you, baby. Let me. I have to say that I feel both ways about it, and this is why. And you know, the reason I don't like to cheer for Mexico, like we've already discussed in the last podcast. I don't like the fans. I don't like the Mexico fans. Did you see the video where they were burning the German flag? And you can't say that all the fans are like that, but that's what I'm talking about. Right?
Yeah, well,
like
of
right
course.
there.
But every country has stupid fans like that.
Right. But
yeah, of course, people
Mexico,
are gonna point like at the dumb things, you know, like they always like to nitpick like certain situations.
Right. But
there's been other situations that are not negative.
This ties into it.
Okay.
Let me finish.
All right.
So Mexican fans are very passionate. I mean, they're probably up there like top 5 in the world of passion for your team, for your country, for your soccer, right? And the thing is, I'm not saying 100% sure, but I don't think if Mexico failed to qualify for a World Cup, like they almost did the last one, right? It wasn't until the USA saved them to getting in. If Mexico had not qualified and the U.S. did, what Mexican player would do a commercial wearing a USA jersey advocating for Mexican fans to root for USA? Tell me right now.
You have a good point. You have a good point.
And it's the only point I need to make.
No, you know what? Money talks, man. I'm sure Landon Donovan wasn't like, oh, I'm just gonna go out and make this commercial, because I love Mexico.
Right.
I'm sure
out
it
of
wasn't
the kindness
even
of my own heart.
Yeah, out of the kindness of my own heart, and because I want Mexico to do good. Money talks. So if the money is there, I can guarantee you that they would have pulled any player.
Okay, cool. Well, then what he needs to do is on Twitter or wherever and say, I got paid very good money to do this. So
no, he doesn't need to say because I know he did. Well, a lot of people know he did.
Well, he's getting a lot of criticism for it. So he needs to explain himself, I guess, because, and this is my argument is, Mexican fans wouldn't do that because they're too passionate about their country. They'll be devastated that they didn't make it, and they're not going to be advocating for any other team. They'll be like, oh, we didn't make it, we'll screw everybody else. I've heard from a lot of Mexican fans that say, if we fail to make a World Cup, I won't even watch. Like, why would I even watch? That's how passionate they are.
Yeah, I understand, but then there's other implications because you also have to understand like the treatment of like you have to take into consideration like politics and like all of that stuff. So Mexico hasn't been treated so kindly by the United States. Yeah. So let's say for example Mexico didn't make the World Cup and the United States did. I mean, I think it'd be harder for Mexico fans like from Mexico because obviously if Mexico didn't make the World Cup and the USA did, I would root for the United States. But as far as like people in Mexico, I feel like it's harder for them to root for a country that has, like, in the eyes of many, or politically treated them like
immigration stuff
like
going
treated
on
them really bad,
especially with Trump right now.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think it's harder for the Mexico fans to root for a country like that, but not so much for the United States because they're not in the situation that Mexico's in. Right? They're kind of Mexico in a way is kind of like the United States little brother. They're kind of always gonna kick them around, but I mean that's kind of how I see it. And then another thing, if you think about it, if Mexico does good, I mean that looks good for the confederation that we're in.
The CONCACAF.
Yeah, the CONCACAF. So if they do good, the CONCACAF looks good, and you want to have solid competition in the CONCACAF. So if Mexico is a World Cup champion, or they do good, then that means that that's gonna force the United States to step up their game, and then they're gonna become good. So. Honestly, I didn't see it as a bad thing, but
I mean, the last thing I'll say about this is Landon Donovan, he says, because I grew up in L.A., a lot of Mexican culture influence.
He played in Mexico.
He played in Mexico.
His last season of professional soccer, he just finished in Mexico.
Now that's all cool. But what I would say is, if you want to root for the U.S., do it on your own. Like, don't be making commercials, especially telling people to root for Mexico. I think you're kind of crossing the line there a little bit. Like I said, money talks. I'm sure he got paid a lot of money to do it. I personally, I wouldn't do it. Even though I'm Mexican American, if I played for the U.S. national team, I'm not going to do that. And you had other players on the U.S. team saying, what the hell, dude? Like, that's bullshit. Like, you weren't that passionate when we were trying to qualify. You were criticizing us. And you were all disappointed, this and that. And then Mexico makes the World Cup, and you're all happy, but you weren't happy for us when we were playing. Like, that's kind of bullshit on Donovan's part.
Well, I mean, what is he supposed to be happy for? If the United States team was playing like trash,
well not
like, what
happy,
do you want him to be happy for?
Support the damn team.
Like supporting's not gonna
be proactive and say, hey guys, I know we're not doing so well, but let's do it. Come on, But nah,
but that's what
criticism.
But that's what the criticism is for, because he's trying to like build them up. Of course, he's not gonna be like, oh, you guys are doing awesome if they're playing like trash. He's gonna obviously criticize the team because he wants the team to do better, and he probably knows that the team can do better.
I think he was just jealous because they didn't want him anymore, dude.
Yeah, and you also have to remember because that
dude.
Last World Cup they kind of shunned them. Yeah. Remember, Jurgen Klinsmann kind of shunned them.
He's like, dude, you're old. We don't need you anymore.
And that I think that was a bad move by Klinsmann. I don't know how you feel about it.
Yeah, I think Donovan should have been there.
Donovan should have been like the Rafa Marquez.
He's a leader,
Mexico
dude.
Today.
He's a leader.
Yeah.
He
knows the
veteran. System. Exactly. He's been to how many World Cups?
That would have been like his third
one
or fourth one, maybe.
Something like that. But yeah. Anyway, all right, we're gonna have to wrap this up because Argentina is on the brink of losing, and we gotta watch that meltdown.
Wait, they're playing already? I thought they played at 12.
It's 11:30, dude.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we gotta wrap this up. All right, so Group F, we don't know what's gonna happen. We'll come back to that. Group G is already wrapped up, right? England, Belgium, Tunisia, and Panama. Panama, I don't even know. This is what pisses me off the most, is that it should have been USA. It should have been USA instead of Panama. Now, let's switch it. Let's hypothetically switch it. USA, England, Belgium, Tunisia.
They wouldn't have gotten out of the group.
USA would have got murdered. I mean, not as bad as Panama. I think they would have been way more competitive, obviously. But, man, I mean, England and Belgium are just... And I told you guys about England.
I picked them as a dark horse. I picked Belgium and England as a dark horse.
Well, you got to pick one. You got to pick one. Who was it was Belgium, right?
Well, I picked a couple because you're like, oh, out of the teams that are not like favorites to
Right.
win the World Cup, I picked Belgium, I picked England, I picked Uruguay,
Mm-hmm.
and I picked Mexico.
Yeah. So, I had picked England as my dark horse, and mainly because, I think they have the most speed. I mean, when you watch
play
them
fast,
play,
right?
Raheem Sterling, like between Sterling and Jesse Lingard, I think right now Jesse Lingard is the best player in the entire tournament right now. Jesse Lingard plays for Manchester United. Yeah, I'm a little biased, but they have... I mean, look, when you have Marcus Rashford on your bench, right? Marcus Rashford is another guy who plays for Manchester United. He's 20 years old, one of the fastest players in the world. I don't know if you saw when England was playing against... who did they play first against? They weren't doing so well.
Tunisia.
Tunisia. Was it Tunisia?
Yeah, because they just finished destroying Panama this last...
Yeah. So it was against Tunisia, and then England wasn't doing so well. And as soon as Marcus Rashford comes into the game, I mean, the entire game...
The dynamic changed.
Everything changed. The speed picks up. The skill level picks up. And it's like, why is this guy not starting? Why? Because you have Harry Kane. Harry Kane
that guy's
is on
killing
fire,
it too.
dude.
Yeah.
Well, not the first game. It was the second game against
He scored a hat trick,
Panama,
right?
where he scored a hat trick. But remember,
But he
it's
scored.
Panama.
Didn't he score 2 against Tunisia?
Yeah, after Rashford came on, dude. It was like the England squad is very young, but they're so fast. I mean, they're so fast. They're faster than Brazil. It's insane.
It's the renaissance of the England
Yeah,
squad.
this is not your father's England team, dude. I mean, England teams are known for being very well balanced. They're not super fast, but they're
Strong
not slow.
defense,
Strong
big,
defense.
strong.
Very, kind of like the German team, and they
little
play
slower.
they play on the counter like an Italian team.
Yeah.
But this team, I mean, they're out to score every single time, and these young guns, they want to prove it. Raheem Sterling, Marcus Rashford,
Harry Kane.
They have Jesse Lingard, and I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
Who's a goalie?
The goalie is... Let's see. I thought it's not Hart anymore. Pickford.
Who does he play with?
Jordan Pickford. Let me think. He plays for... I don't know. He plays for England now.
Yeah.
Everton. I think he plays for Everton. Yeah.
Okay.
And which is it's a
Yeah,
decent,
it's a decent
team
squad,
in the
mid-level.
EPL.
Yeah.
But man, England, and the only reason I'm not picking England to win the World Cup is because Belgium is there, and Belgium has been probably the most consistent, best team that we've seen so far, besides Mexico, in consistency, in cohesiveness. I mean, Belgium has everything you want, dude. They have a good defense. Their midfield is world class, and then they have Lukaku up front, who is a world class, true number 9 striker. Did you see that dude? He was like in midfield or below midfield, and somebody kicked the ball, and he like outran everybody, dude. I mean, that guy has amazing speed. He's like 6'3" or something like that.
Tank.
Big dude. He's a tank.
You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of Josie Altidore, like a bigger version. Like if Josie Altidore. Well, of course, Josie Altidore is nowhere near the level, but like I don't know, like they're kind of like physically like the same. Like they're big dudes, they're strong. They'll push like the defenders around, you know. Like of course the skill level is not the same. I'm just saying like physically, like I feel like they're very
he
similar.
reminds me of a Drogba.
Oh, Didier Drogba.
That's who he reminds me of. Josie Altidore, dude, come on. I mean, Altidore's a big dude. Yeah, he's got the same body.
Yeah, well, that's
build.
what I'm saying.
Same-
Like
same body
physically,
type,
not like based on skill level.
But yeah.
Like Josie Altidore on steroids.
Yeah.
On Clearner.
Now the person that I'm kind of disappointed with though is Hazard, Eden Hazard.
Eden Hazard.
He was supposed to be like next to Messi and Ronaldo in this cup because that dude, he has some great skill. I mean, he's a
Oh yeah,
he's
he
a
plays
player.
at Chelsea, right?
Yeah, he plays at Chelsea. He is an amazing talent, dude. But for some reason he's just kind of disappeared, and Lukaku has shined.
Taken over.
De Bruyne.
that guy
De
kills
Bruyne.
it.
De Bruyne. I think that's how you.
De Bruyne.
De Bruyne.
I think it's just De Bruyne.
De Bruyne. I think it's De Bruyne. Yeah, he's a little redhead kid, and he's like the version of Luka Modric. I mean, that dude's in the midfield. He's gliding around,
He's
distributing
a
the
big
balls.
dude, no.
Well, I don't think he's kind of lanky though.
He looks kind of big. He looks like
he's real
kind of
skinny
physically
though.
big. Because Modric is really
I'd
small.
kick his ass.
I probably would too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they have. Their team is solid, man. Their team is solid.
And they're gonna play for the first and second place because they're automatically through already.
Right. So I mean, I think they have a pretty easy way through to the. Well, I don't know. Do they end up playing?
Because they're gonna play the group with Japan, Senegal, Colombia.
Right, but after that.
Well, I don't know.
Well, it doesn't matter. After that, it's still
switches.
getting super hard. Yeah, but
I think England beats Belgium. I'm gonna put it on record right now.
I
think England beats Belgium like a 2-1 kind of game.
Yeah, I mean that speed
Maybe a
is just
3-2.
insane, dude. It's just
I think
Harry Kane's on point. Lingard is running through the field, but then Belgium, man, they're so structured.
I think you're overrating Belgium like
I don't
a
know,
lot,
man.
bro. I don't know. Like I feel like you're really high on Belgium, but I don't think. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I think they're like a solid squad. I picked them as one of like maybe a possible dark horse, but I just feel like you're super high on them, and either that or Mexico was really good because I told you Mexico went over to Belgium and they tied it up 3-3. Man, they scored 3 on Belgium in Belgium.
But
so
it's a friendly, dude. It's a friendly. This is the World Cup we're talking about.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. Belgium's good. I just think you're overrating them a little bit, and I think England's gonna take the group. I think they're gonna beat them like a 3-2.
I hope so because I like England, and I think it's been a long time coming for England. Like I think I don't know if they have the best fans in the world, but
they probably
of the best
fan bases in the world. Yeah,
I want to say they do. I mean, the game was invented in England.
Well, that's debatable, no? Because
let's
not get into that, but whatever.
The game was invented in England and perfected in Brazil. Let's just leave it at that.
That's not what I was trying. That's not where I was going.
Well, what's debatable?
Well, wasn't there like talks that like supposedly like it started like in Mexico with
Man,
like
get the hell out.
No, I'm serious. There's like talks that supposedly they would play with like some sort of like.
I mean, Mexico had
like obviously
the poke-a-toke.
Yeah, that is where they don't use their hands.
They
use their
the rubber ball
and they use their head.
Yeah, but we're talking about the game
as we know it today.
Yeah, as we know with the rules, the field, the dimensions, the way you play with the goalie and all that stuff.
Yeah,
the
like
English,
with the modern day game,
right. The modern soccer game. So anyway, all right. So that's Group G. England and Belgium just destroyed it. Panama 0 points. Tunisia 0 points. Panama -8. Tunisia -4. And they have to play each other. So who do you got in that game? Tunisia, Panama. I'm gonna go with Tunisia.
I'm gonna go with my boys from Central America, Panama, because I'm a pro CONCACAF guy. So I'm hoping they pull out the win.
I'm gonna go with the 0-0 draw. So they each get 1 point.
The one-
That would make them feel real proud,
that's
I
messed
guess.
up, man.
All right, so let's close this out. So we got Group H, Japan, Senegal, Colombia, and Poland. What do you think about that group?
Well, before I get into it, very classy fans. I was looking at videos of after the match with Japan and Colombia, where the fans actually like stayed back in the stands and they started cleaning up. And I was like, wow, these fans are like really.
It's
really
a part of their culture, man.
Yeah.
So, you know the Japanese students, they schools in Japan don't have custodial staff.
And they don't have like the people who make lunch, like the lunch people.
No.
They make their own lunch,
They
right?
make their own lunch, and they clean up the halls,
That's
the
really
rooms.
cool.
They scrub the floors. They make them do everything. It's a part of the culture. And so, fans at a stadium could be very rowdy, and
Dirty,
people are
and they
drunk,
throw trash
and you just throw your trash everywhere. And the Japanese just kind of stayed back. They brought trash bags with them.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, that's crazy.
And then Senegal did the same thing.
Yeah. Now,
That's
I
really
don't.
cool. That's classy.
So I've been to Japan. I don't know if you knew this, but I've been to Japan.
No.
I went there for a week with a friend of mine, and I experienced some racism in Japan.
Well, because
And,
it's such a, what is it, homogeneous when it's just one?
yeah, I mean,
it's a homogeneous culture.
Right.
Everybody looks the same. Everybody like.
Yeah, so I'm not going to get into the details of the racism I experienced because we're running out of time. But I experienced some racism twice. Not once, but twice. So I think the Japanese culture is beautiful. I think some of the people are nice. But I hope Japan loses and burns in hell because I don't ever want to go back to that country because of the racism I experienced.
It must have been really bad.
No, it wasn't bad, but
What happened to you, dude?
no,
Dude,
it just
that's some strong like
Dude,
hate.
me and my friend
burns and dies in hell. That's some strong hate right there.
well, I don't believe
Where
in
did they
hell, so
take you, dude?
no, they denied me and my friend entry to a restaurant.
Really?
They took a look at us and shut the door in our face.
No.
And closed the curtain.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
And there was people inside. Maybe they were already closing.
Yeah. I don't know where I was. We were walking around some Japanese district.
Were you guys drunk or what?
No. We were reading the menu. You know how they have those triangle menus?
Outside,
the chalkboards?
yeah, before you go in.
Yeah, we were just looking at it, trying to figure out, and then this dude comes up, and I thought he was going to be like, welcome or whatever. He looks at me head to toe, slams the door shut, and closes the curtain.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's messed up.
It's like, I don't know if they were like Japanese Yakuza or something, but
Maybe it
it
was like
was.
a scheme like to launder money or something.
I don't know.
They were like running business. Maybe at the time that you went, they had like the big dogs there running business and stuff.
Yeah. And then I was in the subway trying to figure out the subway system, and I asked the police officer for help, and he just kind of walked away from me. I mean, you got to remember, I'm a big Mexican dude. I'm 5'11", almost 6 feet.
Yeah.
I'm not skinny. I probably look like Godzilla to these people. And I guess they were intimidated. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
They probably thought you were like a Yakuza, man.
No.
Like the
dude.
Yakuza
I don't
guys are
look
like big
Asian.
dudes, you know? Like well fed.
Yeah, but
I don't
anyway, I don't want Japan to go through just on that fact. But I think they're playing great. I think Japan is playing really good. They have a decent team. Senegal is playing very well too. Colombia starting to pick it up.
Yeah.
They're starting to click, but they've
Poland.
been very disappointing. I think they've been very disappointing. Poland has been very.
That's been like the letdown of
yeah, man.
the group,
Poland
man.
with
Lewandowski.
Right?
What happened? Well, they were ranked pretty high, right?
Yeah.
Were they top 10 in the rankings?
I think so.
Do you still have them there?
I think. Let's see. I think
They were like top 10, I believe.
Let's see. Come on, Jamie. You're letting me down here.
I think they might have even been like top 5. Maybe.
Let's see. Going into the World Cup. Let's see. Coca-Cola. The FIFA Coca-Cola World Ranking. Poland was 8.
Yeah, I told you they were
Ranked
top
number
10.
8.
Wow. 0 points.
0 points. And then they have what? -4. Wow, dude.
So, who's playing who? in this one? Because I know Japan already played Colombia. And did they already play Poland?
So Colombia's playing Senegal.
For the spot.
Yeah.
Damn, there's a lot of these.
That's going to be a tough one, man, because, yeah, Colombia, Senegal on the 28th, 8 a.m. Was that tomorrow? No, 2 days from now.
Yeah.
2 days from now.
Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, these African teams, man, they showed up. They showed up to play, and they're doing pretty well for themselves.
You haven't, just really fast, you haven't picked who's going to go through.
For who?
For all the groups. Like you kind of just went over like an overview, but...
Okay, so
looking at Group D.
Uruguay and Russia are already through. Spain and Portugal are already through.
France and Denmark are through.
France and Denmark. And I'm gonna say Croatia. I'm gonna say Croatia and Nigeria. I don't think Argentina is going to. I think Argentina and Nigeria are gonna tie. I think maybe like a 2-2 or something like that.
I think that one's gonna be Croatia and Argentina. I think Messi.
I want to lean towards that, but because I don't like Argentina and I think Ronaldo's better than Messi, I'm gonna be a little biased and I want to laugh when Argentina doesn't make it, but they have a great chance. I mean, they can still make it through, no problem. They have the talent. Yeah, they have the team. They have Messi. They have no excuses. I mean, why can't you beat Nigeria?
They have a good crop of players. Yeah. It's not only just Messi. It's a couple of players that they have that are really good.
All right. So, I'm going to go with Croatia, Nigeria. You got Croatia, Argentina. And I'm going to go with Brazil, Switzerland for Group E. Group F.
For that one, I'm going to go with Switzerland and Serbia.
Costa Rica.
No, I'm gonna
go. They can't even make it, but you're gonna go with them.
I'm gonna go Brazil and Switzerland. You said Brazil and Switzerland too, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna go Group F. Man, see, I'm gonna go with Mexico, even though I think Sweden is gonna give them hell, man. So Sweden might even. I don't know. I think I'm gonna go Mexico. And Germany.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Because I think Germany kills South Korea.
But in what order? Because I mean, this one's a tough group. They could all possibly end up.
Well, if Germany beats
the same goal difference.
If Germany beats South Korea like 3-0, and Mexico ties, or wins 1-0, then I think Germany wins the group, right?
Yeah, they could still win the group.
Depends on the goal difference.
Yeah, I have Mexico and Germany going through. Honestly, I think the game tomorrow with Mexico and Sweden, I'm going to go out on a limb. I think Mexico's going to make it look easy. I don't want to get too confident because I've gotten my heart broken a lot of times. But I think Mexico's going to make it look easy, and they're going to establish the dominance for the group, and they're going to take that number one spot. I think it's going to go down like a 2-0 with Mexico.
The thing is, I just hope that Mexico didn't benefit from a German squad that just wasn't playing like Germany, and then South Korea, which nobody expects nobody even expected for them to even make it out of the group. So you played a German squad that just couldn't get it together. Then you play South Korea, which you can beat easily. And now you're playing a Sweden team that gave Germany hell and beat South Korea. I think it's going to be a great matchup. Yeah. And I think anything can happen, man. I'm not going to go on a limb and say that Mexico's going to make it look easy. That's hardcore words right there, man. I don't know.
I think they have the talent, and I think they're easily more talented than Sweden to the point where they can just outclass them. I'm just saying, I'm confident in this team. But I mean, there's also the possibility Mexico might not even make it out of the group.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so
if that's a possibility, how can you say they're gonna make it look easy?
I think they will. I just have a feeling they will. By the way, really, really fast, did you know that the South Korean players, like, because I was watching, like, after they lost to Mexico, one of their players was, like, crying and everything. I was like, wow, like, I get it. Like, you guys lost. But, like, he was, like, really crying. And then, so I started reading this article, and it was saying that apparently in South Korea, it's mandatory by the government that before you turn 26 or 28, you have to enlist in the military.
Yeah.
So you have to
It's
do
mandatory.
like 2 years.
Like
I don't-
Israel's.
Yeah,
mandatory.
I don't know how many years you have to do in the military. So this guy, in the prime of his career, because he didn't make it out of the group stage, because the only way you get out of the mandatory military enlisting is if you win a gold medal, or if you make it out of the group stage in the World Cup, or like if you if there's the team is solid, you know. So then all the team is pardoned. But since they didn't do anything, they're gonna have to enlist. So then this guy, he's in the prime of his career, and he's 26, so he's gonna have to go back to South Korea and get in,
the military.
Get into the military. So it sucks, right?
That really sucks.
And it's the guy who scored the goal, the last minute goal versus Mexico. So.
Yeah. That goal is going to come back to bite Mexico, man. They should have never let that guy score.
When they scored, I was like, man, I hope that doesn't come back to bite Mexico.
Yeah, that really messed them up. But anyway, Group G, England and Belgium are already going through. And then Group H, I'm going to go on a limb and say I think Colombia is going to go through. And I'm going to say Senegal. Oh, wait. No,
because they're playing each other.
They're playing each other.
Well, I mean, technically, they can both go through if they both draw. Well,
if they draw and Japan loses.
Yeah, by a lot. By 2 goals.
Yeah, because Colombia has +2, Japan only has +1. So Colombia would go through on a draw.
Yeah, and Senegal could go through on a draw too.
Yeah, that makes it okay. So I'm gonna say, I think Colombia can beat Senegal. So I'm gonna go with Colombia, and then Japan.
Yeah.
Colombia and Japan.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Colombia and Japan, and that one I think I'm gonna go with Colombia taking first place in the group.
Well, yeah, because they have a +1 over Japan.
Yeah, +1, but they're 1 point down. So if Japan wins, they win the group. But I think Poland is gonna win that last match.
Yeah, I mean they gotta do something.
Yeah, I think they're gonna.
Very embarrassing.
Yeah, I think they're gonna go out and try to win that last match. So.
All right, so we got 5 minutes before noon, so we got to wrap this up. All right, any last words? Tomorrow we're gonna wake up at.
Yeah, we're gonna wake up
at what?
7 a.m.
I gotta wake up at 6:30, get the kids ready, drop them off at their summer camp, so that I could make it to Ojos Locos at 7 a.m. so we can get a seat. And I don't even know if they're gonna be selling alcohol. I think it might be too early.
It's never too early.
No, I know it's never too early.
No,
we might have to sneak something in.
We might have to go out into the parking lot and drink out in the parking lot.
We have to tailgate.
Yeah, tailgate. And
I'm sure everybody's going to be tailgating,
You know what? That's actually a pretty good idea.
As the cops tailgating. Roll up.
And,
PD live.
Yeah, right.
But, yeah, so we got to do that. Man, I'm really excited about this Nigeria Argentina game. I don't know what's gonna happen, dude.
It's gonna be a fire game.
Is Messi finally gonna show up?
I think he does. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. All right. Well, everybody, that's it for another edition of the Sweet Advice Podcast World Cup edition. And we want to thank our sponsors again, On the Gas Promotions, On the Gas. It's ondgas.com. Go ahead and check them out. And we will check you guys later.